At the live. Hey, that girl. Hey, hey, you guys. Good evening, good evening. Look, I got mics everywhere. There has to be a better place to put this mic. Okay,
It would be nice to be there, but
I'm gonna put it right here.
unfortunately,
David got me mic'd up, y'all, like for real, for real.
so I'm waiting to
Hey,
see if you
princess. Sorry.
waiting to see if you appear on. There you are on YouTube.
Am I on the YouTubes? Hey, Joan. You must be early. We are a little early. We're actually kind of, I know, right? We're early, which probably means I forgot something, but you know, we're going to stay positive tonight. Hey, Crafty and Creators, or Crafty and Creates. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Carol. I have several people. You guys, we're going to be doing some crafting tonight. We're going to be doing some demonstrations on how to layer your decoupage paper with your stencils. And we're also going to do a little bit of stamps too, because there was a little bit of overlay from last week. And so if you are a Royce Insider, you guys would have gotten your worksheets already for this week's, I don't want to call them a class. That sounds so like stuffy and formal. What should we call them, you guys? Not classes, but I don't know. It's not quite a party.
Tutorials?
Tutorials, does that sound fun? Do tutorials sound fun, y'all? I don't know. You guys, it's hot. I have zero makeup on tonight.
Tips and tricks?
Tips and tricks. Yeah, we'll call them tips and tricks.
It's daylight, so it's not that kind of trick.
Oh my, David. Don't misbehave so early on in the evening.
There's nobody here yet.
They're here. I see them.
I see the numbers.
This may be all we have tonight, which is fine because whoever here is who is supposed to be here. So let me.
So before we get started, how many? We're doing giveaways tonight.
We are.
So,
we have clipboards to give away tonight.
Right. How many do we have?
1, 2, 3. I have 5. I thought I had 6. I have 5 clipboards.
5. Why don't we give one away right now?
Ooh.
To the people who are here. You are.
I know it's hot.
Yeah.
David tried to get me to take a cold shower before, but I didn't listen, and so now I'm sweating. I really didn't have time though.
So
to jump in the tub. So you want to do one for those?
I didn't say do like a full shower. I said just get
no,
under
I
the
know,
water.
but I didn't have time.
Okay.
Baby, you don't
Well,
know.
that's because your ablutions.
My blue. Yeah, I gotta lotion up or I'll be ashy.
Exactly.
And then you have to wait until your body dries before you can get dressed or your clothes stick to you. Like those stuff.
All right, let's do a YouTube giveaway right now.
Okay.
Just give me a number between 1 and.
Should we do my favorite one? We'll do my favorite one.
All right.
A number between 1 and what? I'm sorry.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 and 10.
1 and 10, 7.
Joni Campbell.
Joni Campbell. Didn't Joni win something already?
I don't know. She says, "Hey Royce, I love you, and your presentations don't stop."
Thank you, Joni.
So Joni is our
Joni
first winner.
Campbell. I could have sworn, and I meant to bring. I have like 5 things giveaways in my mailroom because people didn't. Como se dice? Send me their addresses. Joni Campbell, can you spell that for me so I can make sure it's right?
Joni.
Really quickly, who's that? Lindsay? You know what, Lindsay? I will make it into Facebook. I've been busy all day, but I'll make it into Facebook. I have about 3 or 4 people waiting to get into the paper mache group, so I'll make sure and get you in there because I want to say you requested today. But yes, I will check and I'll get you in there. I'm sorry, can you spell that for me, babe?
Joni.
Mm-hmm.
Camp.
Mm-hmm.
Bell.
Okay, Joni Campbell. So Joni, be sure and send me your mailing address so I can put this in the mail. And again, my assistant is here on Mondays, y'all. So if you guys get me your stuff right away, then Kayla will get them out because she is on it. Okay. Did you want to do? Is that the only one? That's the only one we're gonna do?
Unless you want to do a Facebook one.
I don't know. That's fine. You are in charge of the giveaways, darling.
So, I mean, it's up to you. We have 5, so we could do.
Well, we'll wait. I like to wait till the end, though.
I know, but
Oh, okay.
see, we got folks here early. I'm thinking we should reward them for jumping on, and
Well-
then we reward the folks who stay late.
Let me see, because I got to, okay,
Or we could do one in the middle. It's up to you.
yeah, well, let's do one in the middle.
All right.
Because I want to stencil one of these, because we are doing stencils
Lee
tonight.
Brown is on both, by the way. I want to stress that. She's on YouTube
Hey,
and
please.
Facebook. She is covering her track. She's making sure her odds are good.
I'm going to go see Flea so she can twist my hair, because she did her hair fast.
She said she just officiated a wedding
Oh, wow.
and in 90-degree heat and wanted to melt.
No. It is so hot, you guys. Our cooler is like almost ready to give up. Like, she is like, this is all I have to give y'all. It's actually cooler in here, I think, than it is in the house.
It is.
So hopefully everyone got their handouts. Of course, mine is still black and white because these wireless printers are driving me crazy. My color printer will not connect to my Wi-Fi. So I have a brand new color printer that I haven't been able to use yet. But you guys got your worksheet. So we're going to go over the worksheet and I'm going to demonstrate everything on the worksheet. My Roycycled Insiders are the ones who get these every week. So if you guys want to be an insider, if you are on Facebook, you can put #insiders and you'll get a message from Facebook. If you are on YouTube, I will post a link when we're done. I should put a link in the thing. I don't know why I don't. And if you're on TikTok and you want to be an insider, you can check out the link in my bio. And there's a button on there about how to become a Roycycled Insider. But let's get started because we're going to be talking about stencils. I'm laughing at myself because I either have like this size stencil or this size stencil. Like, I don't have a whole lot of in between. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Except for my Roycycled stencils. I have those in between. But we're going to play tonight. And we're actually going to start with the Roycycled stencils first. So I'm going to put you guys down so you guys can see what we're doing.
All right. So do we want to say hellos?
Oh, yeah. Let's say hello before we get started. I'm sorry. Look, I'm ready to go.
And I put the link in for the paper mache course. It did start last Thursday.
Yeah, we had our first class last Thursday, but anyone who's taken a course from me, you guys know that we always start with the basics. So we did our basic class on Thursday, and on this Thursday, we start with the real, like we start getting our hands dirty, is this Thursday. So if you haven't signed up yet, you still can. I saw somebody mention that they're still waiting to get into the group. I know that there's like 3 or 4 people that are waiting to get into the group. I'll be going through those and getting you guys approved tonight before I go to bed. And I do have my workbook is black and white because my colored printer. But I have, for my Roycycled courses, I make a workbook and you have like all the notes for the course, and you also have places in your workbook where you can take your own notes, and we have resources in here. And then even if you take the base course, you still get your notes. So you get like a digital packet so you can print it out with all the notes for the course. And so you guys still have time to sign up.
VIP gets the full workbook?
Yeah, VIP gets the full workbook, and I'm actually going to be doing like recipe cards for the recipes for the different things we're doing to go into the VIP workbook as well. But I'll be handing those out as we go along.
But base course gets notes.
Yes, base course will get notes. So everybody gets the information. It's just a matter of how you get it.
Got it. All right, let's say hi to Dawn Perry Headley from Pennsylvania. Kim Comp Rogers says happy Boom Boom weekend. Celestine Todd says hi everyone from Texas. Janet Taylor Borgers, Lori Stanley Henderson from Indiana, Becky Heron, Joplin, Missouri, Joanne Shaner Cotton, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Barbara Garrels, extra warm in Colorado. Yeah, it's bad right now. Chaz Conabier in the UK, Patty Hogan, Jill Gomez Haley. We haven't seen Jill for a little while, have we?
I don't know. I don't
think so. Hi, Jill. Connie Berkram Beverly Schemes 114 in Laughlin, Nevada.
Mm-mm.
So we're not quite going to Laughlin. We're going a little north of there in a month.
I know we're going to Vegas in a month. Oh my gosh, it's going to be hot, Daddy.
Corey Christensen from Las Vegas. We should set something up while we're there.
We should. I think we should.
I think so.
If you're in Vegas, we're going to try to set up a workshop in Vegas. We'll see. I'm hoping.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
Yeah. Like
Vicky,
an in-person workshop. I think that'll be fun.
Carol Lupi, Vicky Valdez Green from Long Beach, California. Sherry Benhart, Iowa. Memory Williams, Amarillo, Texas. Hopefully they're doing okay.
I know.
Texas was getting the heat too.
Texas is hot too.
Yeah. Let's see. Barbara Garrels, it's always a party.
Happy Canada Day, Debbie.
Oh, Shaz suggests demos for Sunday. I don't know.
Oh yeah, demos. Does that sound fun, Shaz? Demos.
Connie King, Janet Taylor Borgers. I think we said that already. David Show, Tricks and Kilts. Yes.
Art Wolf, I guess we'll be okay.
Let's see. Lori Stanley Henderson. Let's see. Lori Scott. Tony Baldessari Webb from Ohio. Sherry Benhart. Lindsay Tyler. Said she can't get into the group, so
yes, we'll make sure we'll get you. No, it's just I saw that there were 4 people pending, but I have to go check in the course, make sure they're registered. It's just a process, and I just didn't have time to do it right now, but I'll make sure and get it done tonight.
Pamela Culpa Dare from East Tennessee. Maureen Peterson, Susan Stocking, Debbie Knutson, Stephanie Devine. You're really about finishing a project before going to the next. I think she's referring to your short.
My short. Did you see the short I made where I was laughing?
Yes.
Oh, he is so serious. Well, you don't really say it anymore, but you used to. I just don't understand why you can't finish that before you do something else.
And we have a car storage story that we'll tell later.
Well,
Brenda Wood watching from Prescott, 100 degrees. I think we're at 107.
I'm not sure what it is today, but if it's 100 in Prescott, I know it's hot here.
It's hot today, yeah.
Yeah.
Susan Gully, can't bring my screen up large. Is this a Facebook program problem or mine? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but if you can't get it on Facebook, maybe try YouTube. You can try Royce Gold on YouTube as well, because I'm streaming there and also TikTok.
Let's see, Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis from Spring Grove, Joey Lynn Principa, I think is, if I remember correctly.
Looking at the table, I know. I'm sorry.
Deborah
We're gonna get started.
Deborah DeRitter Wallman. Is that a relation to your DeRitter?
I don't think so. I don't know. Don't start me to lying. Are you
Kim-
related to Mr. DeRitter? My principal?
I'm going to assume she's related to a Mr. DeRitter.
I know. That's why I said my principal. I put a on there.
Let's see. Pamela McDowell, hot in Florida. Erica Kevin Peck. David Hatfield, it is sprinkling in Michigan.
Annie. Oh, sprinkle. I don't know. We don't want no wetness because that would just be horrible if it was
I'll take
humid and hot.
Give me the rain. I don't want that dry lightning because that's when we get wildfires.
Well, yeah, if we get clouds, I want rain.
Yeah,
but right now there are no clouds.
I know. Kim Comp Rogers says, love the worksheets. Lindsay Tyler, you might be able to connect your color printer directly to your phone to print. A lot of printers have that option.
It does. It's just not connecting to any. It still has to be on the Wi-Fi, I believe, to work. Anyways, I haven't had a ton of time to play with it, I'll be honest.
Lindsay Tyler asks, is it too late to upgrade to VIP?
It is not too late to upgrade to VIP, and I do have that inside of the group, Lindsay. I know a lot of course creators close their VIP option early on, but I know some people, especially if they're new to my course, they want to come in and see the value before they upgrade, which I totally get. So VIP will be open until we're done with the live classes.
All right, last group, Belva Lentz from Central New York, Debbie Carroll from Ontario, Canada, Becky Het, south of Maricopa, Pam Knight, Yuma. I'm curious how hot Yuma got.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine how hot it is.
We're hot right now. Western side of the state, much hotter.
Yes.
So Yuma, Parker, Havasu Bullhead. No, thank you. Kathleen Hoovis loved the hummingbird video.
Oh my gosh. You guys, she is so bossy.
Debbie DeRitter says there's lots of DeRitters. DeRitter, Louisiana. I don't know where he moved. So.
Well, he moved here from Colorado. I remember that.
Yeah, I know, because he's an Avalanche fan.
Yes.
And we would talk hockey. He was the only guy I could talk hockey with here. And let's see, Paula Takagi, Tucson 106.
Oh, that's
Susan
fucking
Boehner,
here.
Whitmore Glazer. It's a bit cooler here in Texas Hill Country. Only 93.
I take 93 for today.
Donna Schumacher, Minnesota got up to 85. With that
Hey,
humidity?
Queen Crate.
Oh no.
Where? Who? I'm sorry, I missed
Minnesota 85.
it. Oh.
Their humidity, you'll just turn into a puddle. All right, how about some hellos on YouTube, and then we'll get to it.
Okay.
Dreaming Cat Studio, Vicky Moore, Kim Lamar from Buffalo. I like that. Vicky Moore, you are on the YouTubes. Thank you.
Don't encourage him, Vicky.
Redeemed from Northern Michigan, KK, passing good vibes. Joni Campbell, love you, love the presentations, don't stop. Just Yolanda C. Barbara B. from Montreal, Canada. I gotta go to Montreal one of these days.
I know, we gotta go.
I just have to. I love Canada.
I'm gonna put you guys down in case you guys can see the table and see what we're working on tonight.
But Montreal is the most European city in North America.
Oh.
So I gotta go. Kim Fosnaw from Rockford, the home of Cheap Trick. Let's see. Michi, Marsha Walls, Joni Campbell lives in Green Valley. Has a friend that lives in Green Valley, says it's a dry heat. It is dry, but it's hot. Let's see. It's 90
It's
in North
hot and
Carolina.
dry.
Oh, again with that humidity.
With the
I can't.
humidity.
Oh, Redeemed, 68 in Northern Michigan, but smoke from the Canadian fires.
Oh, that's hard because then you have the
It's getting
poor
better.
air quality and
It's getting better, she said.
there are actually people who are like legitimately upset with Canada as if there's some magic button that can be pushed.
I know.
Like, are you seriously people? Anyways.
Lori Kentner from Manitoba, 90 degrees in the shade.
Oh,
Wow, that heat is just
I guess it's just hot everywhere.
crushing all of us here in North America. I thought it was supposed to be cooler and wetter this summer. It ain't proven it so far.
Not yet.
So thank you all. And I don't see who's on TikTok, but hello. 'Cause
Hello,
in theory, you
TikTok.
can hear me.
I know, I said, yeah, the voice you guys hear. So for those of you who may be new, my name is Royce Hunt Bell, and the voice behind the camera that you guys are hearing is my husband, David Bell, who those on TikTok, you guys hear me talk about my husband a lot. And together we make up Roycycled Treasures. We are live every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. To come, and if you're here live with us, we do a lot of chatting. We are here to hang out and to get to know our peeps. If you want more succinct tutorials, you can check out the short form videos on TikTok, on YouTube, on Pinterest, all the places. But when we're here tonight, we're here to hang out, but we do create. And so we're in the middle of a series. I should go over real quick. So we're in the middle of a series of talking about or demonstrating ways to layer your craft supplies, like tips and tricks for you to get the results that you want when you're using multiple craft supplies to make your mixed media projects. So we did paint and decoupage paper on the first night, and we did transfers and decoupage papers, right? Tips and tricks to make sure that you're successful with those. Last week we did stamps and decoupage paper, although tonight you guys we're going to revisit stamps just a little bit. And then this week we're doing stencils and decoupage paper. And if you're a Roycycled Insider, you get worksheets for each Sunday's live prior to the live. And I also included a note page last week. So you guys can print this out as many times as you want to take any additional notes if you are a note taker. I'm a note taker. I think that's why I always do that.
So I have two things real quick.
Yes.
Vintage Retail Therapy by Mara.
Hey, Mara.
Says it's 113 in Vegas. Is Mara in Vegas or visiting?
You know what? She visits her mom in Vegas a lot. I know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's see. We had
But she's in Temecula.
Patty and Lindsay both say it rained, and let me see if I could do it. Poured hard all day. Now it's wicked muggy here in Western Massachusetts. That's my
I'm not sure if you sounded like you were from Massachusetts or Australia.
So not at all. And Donna Schumacher, is David related to Archie Bell and the Drells? No, I am not. He's much more tan than I am.
Oh.
However, I did in my youth know how to do the tighten up.
Oh.
I can't do it anymore.
You can't do it anymore?
But in my 20s, I knew how to do the tighten up.
Thank you guys all so much for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate you guys spending time with us every week. And my papers are in black and white. Again, you guys just have beautiful colored copies if you want. If you're like me, I almost kind of prefer printing in black and white because it's less expensive.
One more last thing. Can we share? Like, subscribe, please, on YouTube. That really helps. Make sure that you get the notifications. You can hit the bell that gets you the notifications when Royce is live.
Whenever I post or when I'm live, too.
And look, over the next few weeks, I imagine we're going to be popping live at weird times.
Yes.
Especially when we do our trip to Flagstaff and Las Vegas.
And to Vegas, yeah.
So you really want the notifications for that. And on Facebook, please share. We don't even try and hide it anymore. What's the point? We used to say
code language, but we're we're past that.
We're done.
Because they're going to do what they want to do.
We're grown folks. We don't have to spell the letters in front of the little kids anymore.
We grown folks, huh?
Yeah. So would you mind sharing? It really does help. And it helps everybody know. Because as we all know, there is one platform where you may see it, you may not.
Yes.
And you never know.
You never know.
So the more you share, the more likely it is our fellow...
Patty says, good try on the accent.
Yeah.
It sounded almost Australian to me, Patty. I don't know what he's doing over there.
I've been working on it.
You've been working on it?
Well, I'm supposed to. Oh, boy, I'm really derailing everything tonight.
No, I know. Let me get started,
Yeah,
and then
I
you
really
can get
am.
to
Okay.
the story. So our first, let me get to the right sheet. I closed my little booklet. You guys are basically going to have like a little workbook by the time we're done. Okay. So on the first one, I wanted to talk about stencils paired with decoupage paper. And I'm going to highlight the recycled stencils because A, they're the recycled stencils. Let's just be completely transparent. And B, because we really did create these stencils with the idea of having them pair well with your decoupage papers. So this is the number stencil here. And so one of the things that you can do with the recycled stencils is you can overlay them over some of the texture designs to create like standalone pieces to go in your mixed media. So like this was the bushel stencil, and I used ink and I did it over the chippy wood decoupage paper, right? And so now my pail has a texture of the chippy wood, and it was the same principle here using the, oh Lord, what do you call this thing again? My brain, you guys, I just don't even know. I used this one, the urn, over the textures decoupage paper to get a texture on there. This is the urn over the patina decoupage paper, but for this one I actually used a copper paint on it to get this one. And then this is the bushel again. I used it over the what is this one? What are these called?
Rivets.
Over the rivets decoupage paper. I don't know what's going on with my brain,
I
y'all.
can't. I know you were pointing, but remember I'm on a delay.
Oh, I know.
So I couldn't see what you were until you held
well,
it
no,
up to me.
I know. I was doing that on purpose. This was a new one when I did it.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
It's the rivets decoupage
Okay.
paper. So you guys can use your stencils in conjunction with your decoupage paper, especially all of the ones, because we actually have quite a few textured decoupage papers now, and I'm noticing that I'm seeing more and more kind of texture-y products coming on the market now, which I've been a texture junkie for a while, so I made textured papers a while ago. And I wanted to show you guys something that I kind of started on today. I used my numbers, and we're going to do a demo. Don't worry, I'm not just going to talk tonight. I used the number stencil over one of my, como se dice, my industrial kind of texture papers. I want to say I used the exhibitionist with this one because sometimes when I'm working, especially if I'm working like in my art journal, rather than just having a flat number, I want to have texture. So these now look like grungy numbers, right? Instead of just plain stenciled numbers. So those are an option. And you guys can see how that option can play out even with like a large stencil like this one. This is a laundry stencil. But imagine if I did it. This is the textures decoupage paper. It's half like yummy, yummy rust, and this half is like patina. So you could theoretically, you know, use your stencils over the paper and then cut it out, and now you have like extra details in your sign as opposed to it just being a flat color. Or even if we used this one, right?
Sandy DeJarnay says she never saw the bushel basket stencil.
Oh, I'm going to show you guys all the stencils right now, and I'll show you guys how I use the bushel over the crate decoupage paper, and so you guys see how in this picture I was able to use it with the bushel stencil over the crate, and then I fussy cut it out, and I was able to decoupage that onto my background, which is the neutral ticking, and fill my bushel with transfers for flowers. And so I'm excited about these lessons because I think that when we get into next month, where I would want to kind of explore like different ways to use all the things that we've been going over in the month of June, that there's going to be like, I don't even think there's a number of amount of options. I think our options are pretty endless by the time we take into account all the different supplies that we have. And one thing I realized today, we've gone over everything with decoupage except for decoupage with decoupage.
No, you showed decoupage early.
I know, but I mean, I'm talking about layering specifically. Like on this project with the bushel, it's overlaid on the ticking, but the ticking isn't showing through the bushel. So when we're laying decoupage onto other decoupage, there are still tips and tricks to help you be successful. This is another project where I layered decoupage on top of decoupage.
Now I understand what you were saying. You were saying that earlier. You didn't do decoupage on decoupage, and I'm like, you did decoupage.
But I mean decoupage on top of decoupage, because you can layer, right? And this one, of course, is a stencil with decoupage on top of decoupage. So there are just tons of options, and once you start, like, the options are pretty endless. And for my people on TikTok, I am so sorry I can't share photos with you. If you want to join us, you can join us on Facebook or YouTube if you'd like to see like my photos and stuff. So this is the numbers stencil. Happens to be one of my favorites. You guys can see there's texture medium on there. It's one of my favorite ones for raised stencil. This one, I'm going to say these are all my favorite because I'm going to keep saying this one of my favorite. I probably use the cloche more than any of the other stencils because I love it. And you can put anything into the cloche. Yes.
No,
I thought you were giving me a hand.
No.
Oh. And so like this one, I used the cloche and I actually put transfers from Iron Orchid Design to put some mushrooms inside of my cloche. So this one is super fun to play with. And these are all 12 by 12 and they're 7 mil Mylar. I wanted something that was relatively flexible, but that you'd still be able to use over and over and over again. This one is probably the customer favorite, which is the urn. And this urn, the whole stencil is 12 by 12. This urn, I've probably seen in more projects than any of the other stencils. And these stencils work really well with your other decor products that you have, whether it be stamps or transfers. They pair really well with stencils. This one, oh my gosh, I think that my manufacturer wanted to choke me out when it was time to make this stencil. I'm pretty sure. And this one is the Farm Ledger, I believe is the name of this one. This is super fun for background with scripts. There's some numbers in there, a little bit of topography. Is this the right one? This is the Nest stencil. This one is super fun. you have your base of your nest, your details, and then there's some feathers, and the eggs nest really well inside of your nest. And we actually have a course um, showing you guys how to use these specific stencils. This one is one of my favorites. It's the paper doll. Do I have a paper doll?
Can I ask you to do me a favor?
Maybe.
Double check the connection in your mic pack.
Oh, did I pull it out or something?
People are saying it's cutting in and out.
It may be that I'm leaning.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. I'm trying to find a project from my... Oh, actually, I have one right here. I'm such a dork. I'm going to go back. Cancel.
Dorothy Lage asks, is the ledger new?
No, the ledger came out with the last set, Dorothy. I mean, it's new. It came out in January, but it's there. This was one that I made with the paper dowel. I paired it with some wing stamps from Iron Orchid Design. And so this one is the most fun because it's like playing with paper dolls like we did when we were little, only now we get to make like adult type paper dolls.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that, letting me know about the sound.
Yes.
Because it sounds fine here. That doesn't necessarily mean it sounds fine coming through.
Yes. Let's see, that was one of the earlier ones. Sorry, you guys, I have to find the ones. And this one is the watering can. Super fun. You guys can do this one and have flowers coming out of the top. And you can also pair that one with decoupage paper. We did a stencil lab course, you guys, which is still available at roycycledacademy.com. I don't know if it's listed on the main page, though. Can you guys tell I use this? And this one is a frame, and it's like a squiggly frame. This one is the same frame that you guys see here that I used. And this is the frame stencil. And you know what I realized? I do not have a bushel stencil, which is the one that I plan to use tonight. Oh.
That changes everything.
It does.
Fornication by Design, is this a sale or are you just showing the different stencils?
I'm just showing the different stencils. They are available with Roycycled retailers. Speaking of which, if you are a Roycycled retailer, if you could please put your website in the comments, that would be wonderful. That way customers who are here can find you. I don't sell the stencils directly, but you can get them from Roycycled retailers as well as the decoupage paper. So I'm just showing you guys the stencils, and I was trying to get to the one that I'm going to actually work with, except I don't see it, which is the bushel. So give me 1 second, because I know it's here somewhere. So I want to make sure and demo everything that we're talking about and not just talk about it. Let's give them something to talk about.
So while you're looking, I'll tell my story.
Oh Lord, what story is it?
No, it's a good story. So the Massachusetts thing, which by the way, one of them said I did sound like her and her neighbors. The other one said no.
No.
Western Massachusetts doesn't sound like that. So we have some friends, they're filmmakers, and I've been teasing them for a year that they didn't ask me, who had trained as an actor, to be in their last film. Well, they asked me to be in this one. But they keep pushing off my days on set.
Oh.
And I'm like, but they gave me a rough idea of my character. And it's supposed to be kind of a mob guy.
Your character?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I don't want to just be me. So I thought, well, I could do, the easiest thing I could do is I could be a Chicago mobster because I knew those guys.
Okay.
But then I would sound like Dennis Farina, and everybody would think I'm just imitating him. But the reality is that's where I grew up, and it took me a while to lose my accent. But I can do it. I can talk like a Chicagoan any time. It's not that hard to do.
It hops out every now and again.
Every now and then it does.
But
I worked hard to get rid of it. So then I thought, well, what if I tried being kind of because I look like an Irish, a guy who could be an Irish mobster out of the Boston area.
The Boston area.
So I've been slowly every now and then when I get a few minutes to myself trying to play with the accent. I'm really not that good at it, but I'm trying. And I don't want to be a caricature.
You want to be serious.
No, I want it to sound like, oh, that's how somebody talks.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because it's easy. I mean, the Chicago accent, everybody talks like, hey, da bears, which is a caricature. But the truth is, the guys that I grew up with talk like this. And literally, I remember my mother looking at me going, these, them, dis, and those. Because that's how we talked. That's how you grew up. My mother did not have that accent. She fought against it.
She fought against that accent.
Yeah, that's where the Boston
erasable.
thing came from. And I haven't heard when I'm supposed to be on set. So
I am out of today. You know what? I'm just going to use this ink right here. Oh, that's embossing ink. I can't use that one. I'll use an ink pad. If there's erasable ink in here, I'll just have to deal with the consequences.
David, tell
of that.
Royce the stencil is under the board.
No, this one, oh, it is, you know what? This one's a snow globe stencil. It still isn't the one I'm looking for, but yes, this is the snow globe stencil, which I'm super excited about. You guys.
Everybody's saying that. Look for a bushel under the board.
No.
It's under your board. I'm literally saying, you're using all caps, baby. It's getting angry out there.
Well, because they see this stencil under the board, but it's still not the bushel. How could I not have? Literally, this is every stencil in the line.
It's chaos.
Except for the bushel. Okay, it's okay. We'll use the watering can. I just wanted to demonstrate. Or maybe I'll use this one. That might be kind of cool, huh? No. I'll use this one. We'll do the watering can. It's fine. The whole demonstration is going to be about how you can use your stencils with your decoupage paper to create texture. That's it. And so we can do it with this one. Look, I have actual texture on the top of this one. So we're going to turn it over. I am so terrible with my craft supplies. That's why I try to make stuff that's durable, because I just assume everyone is as awful as I am. So I am going to ink
Cutting
pad.
out again. Check your set.
I don't know, Daddy.
When you move, it's apparently doing something.
Okay, I'll try moving it up so that maybe that'll make it better. Is that better?
I can do what they do on TV.
What?
All right.
Tape it on my back?
Yep.
No, it's fine. I moved it to my front.
Are you sure? No, it's not.
Is it still cutting out?
Yep.
Well, it must be the pack then, baby. Can you give me another pack? I'm sorry, you guys.
No, I can't. We have two. I'll give you mine.
Well, I mean, oh, you didn't bring out the other pack of
No, I
packs?
can give you mine. Here.
Oh,
I'll give you mine. You give me yours.
okay.
It doesn't matter if I cut out.
I don't know. I think some people find you more entertaining than me. Let's give them something to talk about.
I am adorable.
Talking about love. Okay. And if I do not have a blender out here, oh, here it is. I was going to say, I'm here in a second. So this is just a beauty blender, you guys, that makeup artists use. But of course, you guys know me. I'm breaking the rules. And so I'm using my beauty blender for my stencils. I love using it, though, because it gives me so much control over how much I use. I do like using it with ink more than with ink, but I do love it. This one's a little stiff. It has a lot of product on it. So let me beat it up real quick.
Fornication by
Clean
design.
your blender after you use it, so it doesn't do it.
I'm
Huh?
sorry. Fornication by design. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay. What's the question?
Oh, I thought you had the question already.
No, those are.
So I'm going to put this down on my project, and I'm just going to go around, right? Ooh, I got more on there than I thought I had. And I could not find my pixie spray to save my life, you guys. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Because I know one of the frustrations that people have is how to get a clean stamp, right? Where it's not like bleeding and it looks super sharp. There are a lot of ways to do that. And most of it is patience. I know it's not what you guys want to hear, but usually if your stencil bled, it's because you get too much product on your brush. Um, or if it's not clean, it may be because you shifted your stencil, which I've shifted this one a couple of times. So let's see what happens.
So the question is apparently for me. Got a couple of signs from an antique shop that reads, War Bus Stop Order. What is the meaning behind it?
It says what now?
War, W-A-R, bus, B-U-S, stop order.
I don't know.
I would have thought war bonds, which everybody was encouraged to buy during the war. War bus stop order. Is it possible that because of the war they were cutting down on mass transit? No, because you were limited. You had rationing on gas.
Well, yeah, so maybe that's why they wanted you to take public transportation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've not heard that. David sounds louder than Royce. It may be the fan blowing on the glowing beauty. It's possible, Flea. Yeah, it's.
Is that from earlier or from right now?
No, right now. I knew I was quieter before.
Uh-huh.
This microphone just isn't the greatest
Okay,
that
so
you're
I'm
using
louder
right now, but it's not cutting out.
Oh, okay.
And I don't cut out because I don't move as much as you.
So am I loud enough now?
If you project, you'll be fine.
Okay. So do I need to put my little chingadera over here?
Stop using that word.
Oh, I know. I keep forgetting it's a bad word.
Potty mouth.
Somebody should have told me it was a bad word before I got used to saying it.
Brenda Adams Farrell, I'm terrible at stenciling. I don't think so. I think you just got practice, that's all, right?
It's like anything else. I think the thing with stenciling, look at you guys, clean your beauty blenders. Don't be like Royce. I think that we look at stenciling and we're like, oh, that's super easy. And it is. And we go to do it and we're not successful, so we just think, oh, I'm terrible at stenciling. But stenciling is just like anything else. You have to practice. And there's different ways to stencil, right? There's different approaches. We're going to look at several tonight if Royce ever gets herself together. It's already 5:41.
Yeah, Don Headley, World War II era sign is what Google says. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of was World War II. War bus stop order.
I wonder if it's, sometimes I find that antique shops will sell portions of signs. So like if a sign was really big and it was made up of multiple portions, they may only have a portion of the sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There might like be a other half to that, where if you put it with it, it would make sense. Maybe. I do find that with ink, it's kind of hard to, and if you use ink with a beauty blender, it's really hard to have too much. I mean, I guess if it's soaking, it would be too much, but generally, if you're using your ink pad and your beauty blender together, it's really hard to pick up too much product. So you're less likely to have bleed through. Of course, I'm having to make sure that I'm actually getting enough coverage because I'm going over this paper, so I want my lines to be pretty dark so we can see them.
Brenda Farrell, I wear my arm out pounding when I stencil. That beauty blender tool might be a big help. Yeah, there you go.
It might be. And again, it's good with ink. I guess you could use it with paint, but I don't know if it would be the same result. But the beauty blender, it just, if you use your beauty blender with an ink pad, you're less likely to have too much product.
Oh, you know what that sign might be?
What?
A stop order for a particular business. War business. War, period, business stop order.
Oh.
So, for example, let's say I'm a printer. Newspapers could still be printed, but for example, comic books had to cut down their print runs.
Because they were saving resources.
Right, until they realized that soldiers loved comic books, so they were allowed to re-increase.
It all circles back to comics.
It always does, yes. But, but maybe, you know, that's possible. Or maybe you did copper wiring for homes or copper piping, and they said no.
Yeah, 'cause they want to reserve the copper
for the shell casings. So maybe.
perhaps. And so now that I've finished the stencil, I'm going to do a quick fussy cut just to get you guys an idea so we can move forward because I feel like I'm behind schedule. Some people were chatty when we started. You got me behind.
No. We had a lot of hellos.
I know, I'm just messing with you, baby. You're fine. We know, and you guys, just for reference, we do a lot of chatting and carrying on when we're doing lives, but whenever you take a paid course from Royce, David is not here. Sorry. Somebody actually said during the class the other night that they expected to hear your voice. It is a super concise, delivered material. I mean, I'm still me, so it's still a little bit crazy, but really concise information, really organized. It's just a lot different than what you see here with me live.
This is free. We have fun. And if we go off track, we go off track. It's no big deal.
It's no big deal.
But if you're spending your money, we respect that and we respect your time.
Yes.
And since I have no respect for anybody, I am not in there.
He is terrible. And he needs to stop. This man is more thoughtful than anybody I've ever known. He makes me feel like I'm a bad person sometimes because he thinks about stuff that I do not think about. I do not think about it.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, 2 Christmas presents down. Yeah, boy.
2 Christmas presents?
2.
Okay, you got David's in the mail.
I got David's in the mail. We got Christopher's a few weeks ago.
Which one was Christopher's? I don't
the
remember.
Nintendo.
What if he's watching?
Christopher's not watching.
You don't know. He could be.
I know. Chris, if you're watching, tell me. He's not. None of our children watch.
None of our children are watching. So you can see, though, how my watering can now, right, has the texture of the corrugated metal on there. And so this is just an example. I was going to use the example of the wood with the, almost as you say, bushel, but I couldn't find my bushel. So we did this one instead, which some of you have seen before if you've taken the stencil lab course. I apologize. But the stencil lab course was really fun. It's funny, when Lexi and I decided we were going to do that class, I was like, do you think people will take a course just for stenciling? But we had over 100 people who sign up and take the course, and everybody said they enjoyed it too. So, okay, so this is an example, right, of how you can use your stencils in conjunction with your decoupage paper to actually create texture on your project, because I could take this and decoupage it now onto a background, right? And I could either have like flowers pouring out here, or maybe I could put transfers with some flowers here. There's a lot of different options in mixed media, right? Because you can use a lot of different things.
We have a question, but you're doing it right now on screen. What's the best way to cut a hole in the middle?
Oh, I will just fold mine over and slip it. I'll do it again because I have this one too. So what I like to do is fold it in half and just make a slit like that, because that's the trouble, right, is how you get in there. And then once you make it, then you can finish cutting. You can also just use like, I have these little things that I have. You can use like an X-Acto knife or some kind of cutter. I bought these. Oh, good. I picked up the right one.
Don't they have those that roll that like quilters use?
Yeah, but those wouldn't be agile enough for something like this.
Gotcha.
You want something that's going to be a blade. You can twist it around. A roller is good if you're cutting like a strip.
Okay.
But these are pretty detailed cuts. And so you could use something like, you know, your X-Acto knife or some other kind of cutter to cut it. But I just assume snip it with my scissors and cut it out the rest of the way. With my scissors.
I'm sorry. Fornication by design. The sign specifically says bus stop order. She's thinking maybe soldiers getting preference to ship out.
Oh, maybe.
That could be.
And so that's one way to use your decoupage paper and your stencils together, right? Is to use the texture from your decoupage paper to actually give extra or more character to your mixed media artwork. And then we're going to talk about actually decoupaging over your surface. I want to figure out which one stenciling right over your surface. So you can stencil right over your decoupage surface, you guys. You don't have to do anything special, really. If you're going to use like a tacking spray, which I could not find my pixie spray to be able to demonstrate for you guys. Pixie spray is my favorite. It's tacky enough for you to get a clean stencil, but it doesn't leave residue on your surface, and it's not like too tacky where it's going to cause problems. So there's a couple of things. If you're going to use a tacky spray over your decoupage, make sure and let your clear coat rest for at least a day before you put the spray tack on there, and you'll be less likely to have any issues. The second thing is when you spray your tacky spray on your stencil, let it dry on your stencil before you put it on your surface. You're less likely to have residue that way, and you're less likely to have issues with your decoupage paper. And I apologize because I did mean to have some spray here to demonstrate for you guys, but I couldn't find it. I looked everywhere.
You're losing a lot of stuff. You lost your coffee mug?
I'm really sad about the coffee mug because I use that a lot. I don't know. I have no idea where it could be, unless maybe I left it at Miss. I bet you I left it at Miss James's house the last time I took her. I'm thinking maybe. I bet you that's where it is. I don't know. So these are just regular little stencils. I buy these off of Amazon. I love Tim Holtz collections. Like this is supposed to look like those little pop bubbles. You know how you can use those to leave an impression. And so you can get all different kinds. I'm going to use this one on this one because this one's pretty. And so we're going to use kind of a pretty stencil on there. And again, the same thing, although we'll do it a little different just for demonstration's sake. So my favorite tools, and I think we're going to go over 2 in 1 here. My favorite tools to use are the Beauty Blender, which I did not add in my notes. I need to add that, or the Beauty Blender. My second favorite are brushes. I love using stencil brushes because they're really stiff and they're flat on the top. But if you have round brushes already in your craft supply, you can just take a piece of tape and wrap it around your bristles. And what that does is it really closes them really tight together so that then your brush kind of operates just like a stencil brush. So we're going to use this brush for this one. And I'm still going to use ink. We're going to use some paint in a few minutes, but I use ink primarily all the time when I do any stamping or stenciling. So I'm going to pick up some ink off of my ink pad, and I am just going to go in and swirl it. And I'm a swirler with my brush. You can pat up and down, but that's more of an issue when you're using paint than when you're using ink. Generally speaking, especially if you're using an ink pad, it's hard to pick up too much ink. So we're just going to swirl this on here. And so you can stencil right over your decoupage paper. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, like serious, you guys. And that's any stencil, right? So you can just imagine layering your supplies and being able to stencil right over your decoupage paper to create another layer. So even with this one, so far we did color underneath here, right? And then we painted decoupage paper on top of the color. The color is showing through the paper. Then we put a transfer on the top of that, and now we have a little stenciled edge over here, which I want to go up a little further on that one. Sorry. My mind wants to see it kind of go off edge over here and not just stop right there in the middle. And so I can fill this, and all this will be fully intact. This will still be fully operational because everything I put on here is flat, right? And so we said we were going to do a giveaway in the middle. Should we do a giveaway for this one?
Sure. I got one more possible for that sign, bus stop order. What if that is from, I don't know that we did it here in the United States. We might have. But I know in England they did. They relocated women and children.
Oh.
So out of London, they relocated them to like northern
Where it
England.
was safer.
Yeah, because Germany was bombing. It was the Blitz. You know,
Yeah.
they were bombing London. So is it possible that was war? Bus stop order, get to your bus stop. If you had an order to relocate,
Oh, if you had an order to relocate, that was the bus stop.
that was the bus stop. Maybe. I don't know if we did any. I mean, we did forced relocations,
Yeah.
but I don't know that we did voluntary relocations in the United States. I'm not sure.
So two things, you guys.
All right, you wanted to do a giveaway, right? And this
I
one.
do. I'm going to explain something because
Okay.
I was heating this. I'm probably wondering. So I applied heat to this ink because I want the ink to set. Because if I go right over it with my clear coat, I'm just going to smear that all over the place, right? So if you're impatient like me, you don't want to wait till your ink cures, you can like rush it using your heat gun, your craft dryer, and use heat to set that ink. Because I'm going to want to do another layer of clear coat over the top of it to make sure that my ink is good to go. So.
Susan Batson, do you too cost them after stenciling?
Do what now?
Do you too, TOO, cost them after stenciling?
Cost?
I don't know. That's
I
the
think
question.
there's a typo and I'm not quite understanding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you submit the question again, I will try it again.
And this may be my favorite autocorrect on the spelling.
Uh-huh.
Debbie Knudsen, loving the broads. Great idea and beautiful too. Me too, Debbie. Me too.
You are so terrible. Now, we did a giveaway for which one for that one?
This will be...
that one was who?
That was YouTube.
So you can do Facebook now?
You want to do Facebook or you want to do a TikTok?
TikTok is hard.
But we never do TikTok in the middle.
We never do TikTok in the middle. Okay. I'll tell you what, TikTok, do me a favor. If you guys want a chance to win a clipboard, which I'll get in the mail tomorrow, then say something so I can see you. Because what happens on TikTok is once it scrolls up, everybody, they leave. It's not like on here where we can see forever.
Oh,
Like, I can't
it
scroll
doesn't
back
show your
down.
name until you leave?
No, there's a space this big for comments. And once it scrolls past that, they're gone.
Okay, so just pick the first one that says, I'm here.
Okay, so Beverly Griffin is who I saw. So Beverly, be sure and message me your shipping address, and I will get this in the mail to you. So I will write that down right now before I forget. Beverly Griffin. And I will seal this later too before I send it. And just being completely transparent, I'm not sealing this right now because I'm not sure if this is not erasable ink. So I'm probably going to spray it with some fixative. So this is a workable fixative. It's a clear coat.
Can you look at me real quick? Do me a favor, reverse the placement of your microphones.
Reverse them?
Yes, I have a specific reason.
Okay.
You're a right-hander.
I am.
Which means you're going to lean towards your right more often than you will your left.
Okay. Let me figure it out. Now my mic is on the inside, so.
But we don't want that. So.
I know. That's why I put it on the left side, Jack.
No, you should be able to turn it.
No, I can't. Seriously, because if I turn it, it's upside down, and I can't twist the mic. He doesn't believe me, you guys.
I believe you. I'm just trying to see if I can. All right, I'm coming off my mic. Sorry, guys.
Oh, Lord, he's coming over here. So, as I was saying, I'm probably going to use a workable fixative to seal that because I'm not sure that I don't have erasable ink on there. Okay. Well, you can't hear it. It's on TikTok. Well, these are run really hot, though. That's why I put it, like, further down.
Try that.
Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay. So, Beverly Griffin, be sure and message me your shipping address so I can get that out to you. So, another reason why I like to use my brushes, you guys, when I'm stenciling, because if I'm doing a stencil like this, which I have a lot of these really huge ones for signs, then I am not going to be messing around with no little bitty, right, stencil brush. And so I can take one of my larger round brushes and tape them and use them. Or I can use a foam roller, which is actually a faster way even to do these. I have a small foam roller, but you guys, oh, I have a big one over there. But I could use a larger one too, right? Which would be a lot quicker to work with on a larger stencil. If I were working with a design that was sort of like this one that we worked with earlier, but it was a larger stencil, I like to play with blending different colors on my stencil sometimes. And so if I'm going to be blending my colors, meaning I want it to be darker here and lighter there, then I would use this kind of a brush. And let me demonstrate that really quickly.
Flea Brown asks, is there a link to those knives? Are they in your Amazon store?
They are in my Amazon store. I really do like those too.
All right.
Why
So
are all my
Flea,
stencils gigantic?
you can get it there. Oh, did they see your naked pants?
My naked pants?
That's what you call them.
I know, they are my naked pants, baby. That's what we call them when we talk to each other, not to other people.
Oh, that's all right. You don't wear them out, so. Susan Boehner, Whitmore Glazer, I think it really is bus stop war order. That makes perfect sense. Just the way it was phrased originally, it didn't make sense. But bus stop war order makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense.
We're adding a bus stop because of the war, or you know, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So you guys, I have to demonstrate now. I know you guys are probably thinking, what
Oh,
is
we have
she
one more
talking
question.
about?
Lindsay Tyler asks,
Yes.
the workable fixative will seal the erasable ink so it's permanent?
Yes, it will, because it's going to be a permanent layer over the top.
Oh, and Flea Brown is watching on all 3 platforms.
So this stencil is like really pretty. This is actually one of the Posh Talk stencils. It's actually for like walls. That's why it's so big. But it's super pretty for furniture too. So we have this like really kind of an industrial portion right next to something that's really pretty. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean when I'm talking about blending colors.
Candace, it is a Roycycled stencil available at your favorite Roycycled retailer.
Which stencil are we talking about?
She just asked where are the stencils from.
I know, but which ones? Because like the little ones are from Amazon.
Which ones are that?
The small ones.
She just says, where's that stencil from?
Maybe you gotta clarify which stencil, baby.
No, there's only one stencil. It's a Roycycled stencil. It's the only one.
This jar is like almost empty, you guys. So I'm gonna have to fight with it a little bit to get some paint out. But I'm gonna show you guys what I mean when I talk about blending.
So this one that looks kind of like lattice is from Amazon.
This one?
This big one.
This big one is actually from Posh Chalk. I think I do have this one on my website.
Okay.
And some of the retailers may carry Posh as well.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have 2 colors. This is Wise Owl's Abyss, which is one of my favorites. I keep going back and forth between Abyss and Poseidon. And so if you're using paint and you're stenciling, the key is patience, right? Let me clear off my table a little bit. I have too much stuff. And I said stuff instead of the other word.
And once again, autocorrect. It's the best. Candace Clay. The big one. Pash, Hulk.
Posh Chalk, yes.
Posh Chalk, yeah.
It is. It's Posh Chalk is the name of this stencil. I do have it on roycycle.equid.com. I think this is listed. I'm so terrible about listing my stuff, you guys, because I'm so used to sending people other places. Okay, I'm just taping that stencil so that it won't shift when I'm working with it, which is something that you can do. And I'm going to load my brush with both colors because I want to do a blend.
Can I put in a plug for another teacher?
Give me 1 second, real quick, babe.
Okay.
So this is the trick, you guys. You, like when you think you've offloaded enough paint, offload it again. Because that really is the trick to getting a nice clean stencil, is not having a lot of product. And when I'm doing this, I'm gonna start with the pouncing motion first. As I start, and when I become like really confident about how much product I have on my brush, then I can start swirling. And one of the reasons I like using a brush is because it gives me more options. If I'm doing something that's kind of a little bit more artistic, like I'm blending colors. So I wish I had some Chattin. I almost need another darker color, but it's okay. This is just normal. So you see how much paint that is? If I had started off swirling that, I would have had paint everywhere. So I'm gonna pounce, pounce, pounce. And then when I'm confident about like that I don't have too much paint on my brush, then I can swirl. And so if I'm blending colors, like I'm going from lighter to darker, I like doing the swirls because I feel like it gives me more control over my blend. And so I have darker here and it's going into lighter, and I'm able to really feather that beautifully, right, when I use a brush with the swirling method. It's not something that I could necessarily accomplish as easier if I were using a foam roller. But if I'm just working on a sign where I'm going to be doing, just one color, then it makes sense to use the foam roller. So like if I make this sign, I would paint the back of this with my pixie spray, let my pixie spray dry on the stencil, then I would lay it on my sign, right? And then I could go over it with my foam roller, which would be super fast, but it's still the same thing. I want to make sure that I don't have too much paint, even if I'm using a foam roller. And it's better to make 2 passes than to try to get full coverage on 1 pass, because you're less likely to pick up too much product if you already have like set your mind on the fact that you're going to have to make multiple passes in order to get full coverage. Usually what happens is we try to get full coverage too fast, and we end up putting too much paint on our whatever we're using, whether it's a brush or your roller, and then you end up pushing paint underneath your stencil. So I hope that answers the question.
We have Sharon Valencia watching.
Hey, Sharon.
And I want to plug, what day does Sharon do it? Tuesdays?
Tuesdays, the Senior Center does crafting every Tuesday at noon.
So if you go to the SEACUS, SEACUS.
The seniors actually have their own group.
Oh, but the link is on their Facebook page, isn't it?
I don't know.
I see.
I mean, it's SEACUS Senior Center. Sharon, you tell us what the group is.
Yeah, Sharon, put a comment in. So every Tuesday, Sharon does a craft that you can follow along with.
Yes.
And every now and then you pop in.
I do. I've committed to doing at least once a quarter. It's my commitment.
So
I wish I had some pink paint because I put a stencil on there, but I don't have any pink. So we won't do that. So hopefully that answered that question. And so what you use, right, to stencil with, whether it's paint or ink, whether it's a blender or a brush or even a roller. I'll go ahead and demo a roller since that's our focus is demo. We'll just use the same stencil. I wonder if I can line it back up, you guys. Let's see. That way you guys can kind of see the difference. And I like using a roller when I use paint. Like if I'm doing a solid sign with paint, I feel like a sponge roller gives me more control. This is a small one, but you guys know you can buy the big ones. So that if you're working on a large sign, you don't want to use this tiny one because you'll be rolling forever. So what you use to do your stencil should be appropriately scaled to your project, right? And we're not going to go over all things stencils because I don't think I'd have enough time for that. Because I was going to do
Well, you've got a stencil course.
I do. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So you can roll it on, and I guess because you're just rolling over the top, as long as you don't have too much paint on your roller, you can get a clean stencil this way too. So a lot of you are making like door leaners, you're getting ready for fall, and you're working with a really big stencil because the letters are pretty big. This is a really good way for you to be able to do that quickly, and still get a clean stencil. Just make sure that, remember, it's better to do 2 passes than it is to try to get full coverage with 1 pass and have bleed through. So that's rolled on. And so you're going to get a more solid application with the foam roller than you get with the brush. So it's kind of 2 different things. I'm going to show you guys really quickly. So this is the foam roller and that's the brush, right? So depending on what you're trying to accomplish will determine what you're going to use. You can see that this is a more opaque application and this one looks a little bit more feathery. And I can keep going back over with my brush again to get heavier coverage on that, but I'm going to get a heavier coverage right away with the roller versus kind of that feathery look that I get with the brush. I forgot my water jar. So I'm going to go over this really quickly because I don't want to go over anything. We did talk about the tacky spray, which I apologize I do not have here to demonstrate. But the trick really is to use a light tacky spray, so something that's like created to be a temporary tack. Spray a little bit, you don't need a ton on your stencil. Let it get tacky on your stencil. Don't put it right on your surface right when it's wet. You want to let it dry, almost so it's already dry, so that it's just tacky and it's not wet. So you're not putting a wet substance on your surface. And then you want to make sure that you remove it right away. So you don't want to leave that on there for a long time and then go back the next morning and try to pull it off, right? Go ahead and take that off right away so you're less likely to have issues with your stencil over your decoupage paper. Oh, I put her, I was going to show the one, but I forgot it's on the wall in the living room where I did a textured stencil over the top. And so we talked about how do you get a clean stencil. A is taking your time. Like legitimately, patience is the #1 thing. Use very little product. If you think you've offloaded enough, then offload it again. Making sure your stencil doesn't shift, so you can tape it or you can use tacky spray or you can just hold it. I generally just hold it. Doing multiple passes to get full coverage rather than trying to load too much paint and get full coverage at once. And then we talked about the tools. I'm not going in order, right? Stencil brushes, I don't even own these stencil brushes because I started using my Klingon brushes. I just tape them and they work perfectly. But stencil brushes, you can buy them specifically. And the thing about stencil brushes are that the bristles are really tight and that the top is flat. So if you have round or oval brushes already in your stash, you can choose together.
You're at 1:15.
Okay. You can use your foam roller. This one is a small foam roller, but if you go to the big box stores, they actually carry the ones that are a lot bigger. So if you have a large sign that you're stenciled, a foam roller might be a better option. And then the makeup sponge, I wanted to demonstrate that one too.
Can I ask really quick, is everybody else seeing stops and starts on Facebook? None on YouTube, so I know it's not our internet.
Oh, okay.
So it might be, we talked about this, I'm using an old tablet. So
it might be
my tablet. Or, it could be Facebook itself.
It could be user error or it could be Facebook.
Yeah, but YouTube is fine, so I'm not that worried. I know it's not our system.
Yes. Another thing you can use are makeup sponges. Did you guys know that these are super inexpensive? I want to say I got these at Dollar Tree a while ago, and they're just the makeup sponges that some people use to put makeup on, right? When I use a makeup sponge, I do dab. So I'm not going to rub this across my stencil. I'm just going to dab this up and down on my stencil. And again, you can use the pixie spray or not. It's up to you. but you're just gonna pat, pat, pat. So somebody said they almost pat wearing their arm out. Because if you're working on something big, then you can use either a larger brush or you can use a roller. And that'll save your arm. I forgot who said that earlier.
It looks like it's just me, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
That's very good. Somebody asked, what do you use round brushes normally for?
I use them when I paint furniture. So I have these Klingon brushes that I use for my furniture painting. I love my oval brushes when I'm blending different colors. I love them when I have a love affair with chairs. And so you know how you have the little runs on the chairs? What do you call them? The little pieces of wood on the back. Round brushes are easier to paint those than square ones. And then generally when I wax, even though I do not mix my waxing brushes and my painting brushes, I prefer round and oval brushes when I wax for some reason. But you can pat out your stencils too, right? And you just make sure you pat up and down. That way you're not pushing paint underneath your stencil. And so I think it's just a matter of practicing and getting a hand for what's too much paint and what's not enough paint, and being super patient with yourself to get a nice clean stencil.
Those makeup,
The beauty blenders?
yes, thank you. That seems like the cheap way to learn, right?
It is. I love the beauty blenders. It's funny. I can... Central? Chaz, you can what?
I wasn't sure. I figured I'd let her take a look at that
okay.
one, yeah.
The beauty blenders, I love them. Make sure you clean yours though. Mine are all stiff because I didn't clean them. I'm gonna take them in the house and clean tonight. So make sure you do clean these with soap and water, just like everything else. Little Dawn, work them out on your hand, rinse it out, let it dry. It'll be fine. But these are super inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon. I believe I have them in my Amazon store. So if you put hashtag Amazon, you can get the link to my Amazon store, where you can find the little cutters and also the beauty blenders. We had these at our retailers retreat, and everybody loved using them.
All right. Flea is saying TikTok is frozen. Now I'm getting people saying stops and starts.
Oh.
So as much as I hate to say this, do we want to
Wrap up?
walk while we're ahead?
Okay, we can do that. I wanted to talk about screen stencils.
Well, maybe we can do that next week.
Okay, we'll do that next week. The heat, I don't know what's going on with the heat.
It could
Maybe
be
we're
that.
stopping and starting. But we're going to go ahead and quit while we're ahead.
So we got 2 more giveaways, right?
Yes, we have 3.
3 more
We
giveaways,
have
so
3
one
more
for each
giveaways.
platform.
Yes, one for each platform.
All right, so I'm just going to pick at random.
Okay.
So let's see.
So let's do Queen Bee first. It says spring, but you can use it whenever you want.
All right, I'm picking right here, and I'm going to say, let's see, Dolly Smith.
Dolly Smith. So Dolly, make sure and message me your shipping information so that I can get this in the mail for you.
That is on Facebook.
And you guys know I found more clipboards. My husband makes me laugh because he talks about my junk, but then he encourages me to go shopping. I feel like he needs Dolly Smith, right?
Dolly Smith.
I feel like he needs to choose sides. What do y'all think? He needs to choose, right?
All right, and now on the YouTubes.
On the YouTube.
I am going to pick at random. I'm not looking. Right there. I'm going to say just Yolanda C.
Just Yolanda?
Yes. So it is just space Yolanda, then underscore C.
Okay, just Yolanda C. Be sure and message me. Is that from YouTube?
That's YouTube.
So YouTube, you can email me at contactus@roycycle.com. Add your information. I'll get that to you. If you don't remember the address, just click on the bottom of my homepage at roycycle.com and you'll see it there, the email. Okay, so we have, the other one's for TikTok, huh?
Yes.
So let's see, somebody on TikTok, if you guys can answer what we've been doing tonight, the first one who answers what we've been working on tonight, you will win the clipboard. Because that way I know that they've been here and they're not just joining.
All right.
Maybe
And
if there's anybody.
and you've got the TikToks.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what we're working on.
Right. The ticks and the talks. Not just a tick.
Nobody can answer the question because they're barely joining.
Oh, Lori Kentner asks, where do you get a Klingon brush? And it's not like Kling on Star Trek. It's C-L-I-N-G, Kling.
I sell these on my e-commerce site at roycycle.equid.com. On brushes. These are premium brushes, you guys. Kathleen O'Brien. Kathleen is cheating. That's okay. Kathleen O'Brien. Make sure and message me your emails, okay? I mean, your shipping address so I can send you your clipboard. Kathleen is on she is on all the platforms.
That's right. It's a way to do it.
And so I guess that's it for this week. I hope this was helpful, you guys. I just want to demonstrate, because a lot of times we talk about things, but then if you don't demonstrate it while you're talking about it, it's not as impactful. The types of stencils. I didn't pull out a Mylar, a screen stencil. I'll pull out a screen stencil next week, you guys, and I'll show you guys. The primary difference is the screen stencils are really thin, and they're kind of like the stencils that they use to make your screen print search. They're actually exactly like that. We love them because they allow you to get tons of detail, but they're a little bit more persnickety. Like you have to be really careful and take care of them. Put them in water right after you use them. But you get like tons of details. So it's a trade-off. They each have their pluses and minuses.
Last reminder, I just put the links up on YouTube and Facebook. You can still register for the paper mache course. It doesn't really get into the thick of things until this Thursday.
Yeah.
So you can do that. Happy Canada Day, that was yesterday. Happy 4th of July, that's Tuesday.
Yes it is. And next week, you guys, we'll be going over decoupage over decoupage, if that makes sense. You can layer your decoupage without having the different layers show through. So we're going to go over different ways to prevent that, and different things that you can do to get different results. So that way, whatever you want to accomplish, you'll know the tips and tricks on how to make that happen. But I think that's all we have for tonight. Alrighty, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next Sunday. You guys have